safer world is possible, and together we can and will make it happen. Thank you.
When you show up in community, you find that group that makes you feel like home, but oftentimes you also find yourself again.
Welcome to Sussexful, everyone. I'm your host, Emma. It's always a joy to have you here. Before we begin, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Sussexful. Your support helps us keep spreading truth, compassion, and positivity around the story of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Today, we look at a new and rather sad report. Royal experts claim that Prince William has sent yet another cold message to Prince Harry about his children, Archie and Lilibet. This news has disappointed many people who hope that one day the brothers might find peace and understanding. Let's be honest. William should be focusing on his own children, setting a good example for them. Constantly targeting Harry's family is not only unnecessary but unkind. Children learn from what they see, and this kind of bitterness sends the wrong message. Leadership begins at home, and kindness starts with the way we treat our own family. Harry and Meghan made the right choice when they stepped away from that environment. They chose to protect their children from a system that often values image over humanity. They wanted peace, freedom, and space to raise their children in love, not scrutiny. Many of us can respect that decision. It takes courage to walk away from power and choose happiness instead. William, on the other hand, seems trapped in a pattern of resentment. His focus on Harry and Meghan shows more about his own unhappiness than theirs. For someone next in line to the throne, this obsession is unbecoming. It makes him look less like a future king and more like a man lost in rivalry. It has been over 6 years since Harry and Meghan left. They have built a life filled with purpose and success. They work, they serve, and they inspire. Meanwhile, William and Kate often appear to be copying their every move instead of building something original. True leadership means finding your own path, not trying to shadow someone else's. The truth is, Harry and Meghan have moved on. They are raising 2 beautiful children in a healthy environment. They continue to be loved and supported by millions across the world. Their kindness, strength, and authenticity shine through everything they do. William and Kate could learn something from that. The bitterness and coldness only reflect inward. What you give out eventually returns to you. God is not mocked. Every action carries a consequence. At Sussexful, we stand with Harry and Meghan because they represent growth, courage, and freedom. They remind us that it's okay to break away from toxicity, even when it comes from family. So once again, thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Sussexful for more thoughtful discussions, honest analysis, and uplifting content about the Sussexes. Together, we can continue to share truth, defend kindness, and spread light where others choose to spread hate. William's obsession with the Sussexes is, honestly, truly perplexing. Instead of focusing on his own family and responsibilities, he seems consumed by an unhealthy obsession with his brother and sister-in-law. His constant attempts to undermine and eliminate the Sussexes showcase a serious character flaw, an inability to mind his own business and get on with his own life. The example he is setting for his children is simply disgraceful. While Harry and Meghan have moved on, establishing a life an ocean away, William remains stubbornly fixated, as if he just cannot accept that they have chosen a different path. This bizarre behavior is not only unbecoming of a future monarch, but it also demonstrates a profound disconnect from reality. William would be better served by focusing on his own royal duties and responsibilities, rather than obsessing over the Sussexes. The Sussexes have clearly moved on, and it is high time William does the same. His relentless efforts to undermine and eliminate them are not only futile, but also reflect poorly on him. It is time for William to step back, reevaluate his priorities, and concentrate on being the best version of himself, rather than wasting his energy on a fruitless crusade against his own flesh and blood. The troubling example William sets for his children is, honestly, hard to ignore. William's ongoing hostility and attacks against his own brother Harry and sister-in-law Meghan are setting a deeply troubling example for his own children. They are witnessing their father's obsessive fixation on the Sussexes and his apparent inability to move on and focus on his own family and responsibilities. Rather than modeling compassion, forgiveness, and personal growth, William seems content to wallow in bitterness, jealousy, and petty schemes to undermine Harry and Meghan. This behavior is unbecoming of a future monarch and risks instilling similarly toxic attitudes in the young minds of his own children. If William truly cares about the legacy he leaves, he would do well to shift his priorities away from this vendetta against his brother, and instead dedicate himself to becoming the kind of leader and role model that his children can be proud of. Otherwise, he risks passing on a sorry state of affairs to the next generation of the Windsor family. The article's claims that William and Kate are, lazy and mediocre, stand in stark contrast to the portrayal of Harry and Meghan's tireless work ethic and impressive achievements. This blatant accusation paints the Cambridges in an unflattering light, implying that they are falling short in their royal duties and responsibilities, especially when compared to the more dynamic and driven Sussexes. The article seems intent on highlighting this perceived disparity, possibly to discredit William and Kate's standing, or to elevate Harry and Meghan's reputation in comparison. By directly labeling the future king and queen consort as lazy and mediocre, the author is making a bold and provocative statement that calls into question the Cambridges' suitability for their lofty positions within the monarchy. William's obsession with eliminating the Sussexes, as the article describes, is truly a serious character flaw. This fixation on his brother and sister-in-law is honestly extraordinarily unhinged, showing an inability to focus on his own life and responsibilities. Instead of minding his own business, William spends his time plotting against the Sussexes, as if he is threatened by their very existence. This sets a disgraceful example for his own children, who are no doubt observing their father's petty and vindictive behavior. The Sussexes have moved on, living an ocean away, yet William remains stubbornly fixated on them, unable to let go. He would do better to concentrate on finding genuine work to do, rather than constantly ogling his brother and sister-in-law. William's obsession reveals a deep insecurity and a serious lack of self-awareness. He seems more like the spare than the heir in his preoccupation with the Sussexes. Perhaps an intervention is needed to address whatever is visibly wrong with William, mentally and physically. The Sussexes have the support of people worldwide, while William's actions only serve to further diminish his own standing. Prince William's fixation on his brother and sister-in-law is eerily reminiscent of Donald Trump's obsession with his political rivals. Just as Trump was unable to move on from his perceived enemies, William seems incapable of letting go of the Sussexes. This unhealthy preoccupation reveals a serious character flaw, an inability to focus on his own life and responsibilities. Like Trump, William appears to spend an inordinate amount of time and energy trying to undermine and eliminate those he views as threats. His children are undoubtedly witnessing this petty and vindictive behavior, which, honestly, sets a poor example. Meanwhile, the Sussexes have managed to forge a new life an ocean away, leaving William to fixate on them rather than tending to his own affairs. It's high time William heeded the advice to mind his own business and concentrate on being a good father and leader, rather than cosplaying and shadowing the Sussexes. His unhinged behavior is not only unbecoming of a future king, but also damaging to the monarchy as a whole. If William cannot break free of this toxic pattern, he risks becoming the spare, not the heir, in the eyes of the public. While Harry and Meghan now live an entire continent and ocean away from William, it seems the future king remains fixated on them, unable to move on. William's apparent obsession with his younger brother and sister-in-law is both bizarre and concerning. Instead of focusing on his own family and responsibilities, he appears consumed by the actions of the Sussexes, even going so far as to plan how to eliminate them, according to royal experts. This type of behavior is not only unbecoming of a future monarch, but also sets a poor example for William's own children, who are undoubtedly observing his every move. The Sussexes, on the other hand, have wisely chosen to distance themselves from the toxic environment of the royal family, prioritizing the well-being and privacy of their own young children. As they have moved on with their lives, William would do well to heed their example and focus on his own duties and personal growth, rather than continuing to fixate on those he has deemed a threat to the monarchy. The Sussexes' decision to forge their own path has liberated them from the constraints of royal life, and it is time for William to accept this new reality and let go of his unhealthy obsession. The article makes it clear that William would do best to mind his own business and focus on living his own life, rather than obsessing over his brother Harry and the Sussexes. Instead of fixating on the choices Harry and Meghan have made, the article encourages William to find some genuine work to occupy himself with. It's time for William to move on and concentrate on his own responsibilities and family, rather than continuing to shadow and copy the Sussexes. The article suggests William is in desperate need of an intervention to address whatever issues are driving his unhealthy obsession with his brother's life. It's time for William to take a long, hard look at himself and make some positive changes, for the sake of his own well-being and that of his children. The world will always love and support Harry and Meghan globally, regardless of whether they retain their royal titles. This unwavering support stems from the genuine compassion and empathy they have shown towards causes and communities that often get overlooked. Their commitment to making a positive impact, rather than clinging to titles and status, has really resonated with people worldwide who yearn for authentic leadership and purpose-driven activism. Harry and Meghan have proven that they are willing to boldly chart their own path, and the public admires their courage and conviction in doing so. No matter what obstacles may arise, the global community will continue to rally behind the Sussexes as they navigate their journey with grace and integrity.